How's it going? Tonight's video is about the hours of service exemption for us superheroes that have filled the shelves of the supermarkets and distribution centres and saved the world. Keep watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. Okay? See ya. Oakley dokley YouTube, Tommy here. The question is, for me, in 1 week's time, will they or will they not extend the exemption for the hours of service for us people that have fed the country, hauled the food, filled the grocery stores? You know, back in the day we were the heroes because everybody was no very well and we were going on about feeding the country. Supplying toilet paper by the truckload. Now, last year, you were really well off if you had toilet paper. This year, you're really well off if you've got plywood or a 2x4. So, things change. However, back in the day, they lifted the hours of service because everybody was short of groceries, stuff to fill the warehouses, the distribution centres and the supermarkets. Well, that has been extended. And to my knowledge, I don't think that the US government is irresponsible. I don't think that they've just blindly said, oh, those truck drivers, they're running over freaking school buses full of kids, they're smashing into cars all over the country, but we need them to keep running with the food. Crack on, you know. I don't think that's the case. I think we've been responsible. I think we've done well. And I think that we've governed ourselves. I don't think there's a big spike of drivers falling asleep and crashing. Here's the big thing, right? I'll let you into a big secret here. Now pay attention to this, because not a lot of people know this, but see, as truck drivers, we don't want to crash. We don't want to die. We want to live. We don't want to run over anybody. We don't want to fall asleep when we're driving. We don't want to have an insurance claim and have our rates go high and all that stuff. We want to be safe. That is the thing that everybody forgets. They think that we're a bunch of morons out there running around with no brains in our heads, and they have to have these rules in place to keep us imbeciles that can't figure out when we're tired, keep us in line. This has been a great period of time for the governments and the authorities to have a look and see how many accidents have actually happened. It'd be quite easy. I don't think the flatbed guys have had a lot of exemption circumstances with the logs. Have the reefer guys, has their rates of accidents gone up higher than the flatbed guys? If they have, I stand corrected, but I don't think they have. You'd have known about it. And the government would not keep extending this if they were endangering the public. So let's just extend it. Don't give it to everybody. You have to earn it, you know? If a guy who's just out of truck driving school, and I don't mean any disrespect to them, but they need to get a bit of experience before they know how to govern themselves, because they don't really know what they're governing, you know? Everybody knows when they're getting tired, but when you first start doing this job, knocking out 700 mile a day, that's what you should be doing. 600 average, 700. If you're going coast to coast like we are, up and down to Florida, Atlanta, you really be doing 700 miles a day. And that sounds like a lot, but if you're managing your time correctly, and let me tell you the secret to doing those amount of miles a day, it's no driving for 20 hours and sleeping for 4. The big secret is, keep your backside on the seat. That is it. Don't get off the chair. Sounds simple. There's a lot. The hardest thing about going to Atlanta or going to Florida, the hardest bit of the whole job is opening the door, turning the key, and sticking it into the first gear. See, once I'm rolling, right, let's just do this. We're doing it now anyway. Let's get it done. And you're battering along, and you want to get there. And then when you get there, you want to turn around and get back. But managing your time is a big issue that you need to have experience to do. You know, for me, a typical day for me would consist of, hands up here, getting up, having a look around the truck and having a pee at the side of the lay-by where I've stopped for the night, or into the rest area and use that. And then if I've got a drink of water, gone. And I'll like to start about 4:30, 5 o'clock. I'd like any comments on these things. Don't tell me I'm an idiot for doing this, because, you know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, right? But I'd like any thoughts on other people that do this. Up early, bang out 3 hours, 3.5, and then you get to 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then thinking, right, I've got a couple 100 miles done, I'm going to roll in and get some grub. Lately I've been hammering the Love's boiled eggs to try and lose the belly, and then get some juice, get out the truck for a little while, and then your day starts again at 9 o'clock. But you've already got 200 or 300 miles under your belt, you know. But stay in the seat and keep going and manage your time well. And this brings it all back to what I think an experienced man driving a truck can do. Is, if I, for instance, last week Brett got loaded on the Friday afternoon, drove for 150 miles, went to sleep. Common sense, you know. It was late getting loaded, he did a bit, went to sleep, up early, boom, at it the next day. Whether he took the 10 hours off, I don't know. But if it was me, I'm a bit younger than Brett, but I'd probably push it a bit harder, and maybe I've got into Green River or something like that, or Little America, or if I felt better, I'd be fine, a wee bit longer. But then I'd be trying to shorten that night's rest, because I was rested the night before. So I shorten that and then start getting into that cycle of starting early, finish early. Get asleep when the world's sleeping, when the things are dark, you know. So if you've got experience and you've not had a lot of accidents where you fell asleep and rolled the truck into a ditch, then once you've maybe been driving for 5 years or 10 years, it'd be an idea, I think, for people that have not been having either wreck last year or wreck the year before, you know, if your safety record as a driver is good, you should be able to govern yourself. Because, as I said at the beginning, we don't want to crash. Or as the Americans say, we don't want to crash, right? We do not want to wreck. So, and it's a bit of an insult, you know, when you take all these things into context. You know, there'll be doctors, I had friends who are doctors, who have their own practice, and then will do a bit in the emergency room on a Friday night or a Saturday night. Well, they've already done their 9-hour shift or their 10-hour shift in the daytime. They'll go get some dinner, have a shower, and go to the emergency room for that night. You know, have they had the break? You know, so there's a lot of industries that are regulated heavily, but they don't have the same hours of working restrictions like truck drivers have. I'm kind of rabbiting a bit here, but I just don't want to go back to the old days where we have logs and it's digital. My fear is that, you know, the United States appears to be a little bit behind the UK when it comes to these rules, and I just don't want it to go any further than it's going. It used to be that we had paper logs, and paper logs were good, and you could keep track of what you're doing to a certain extent. Then they brought in these kind of ELDs where it was an ELD, but it wasn't. I can't remember there's a 4-letter digit thing for, it wasn't directly hooked to the ECM of the truck. There was a bit of flexibility there. But now the new ones are hooked to the truck. And in the UK is even worse, because every driver gets a little digital card. The truck drivers in the UK will know this, and the bus drivers. You get a little digital card that you put it into the machine, and whenever that machine moves, that's you working. And if the machine moves without a card in it, the guy that owns the truck needs to account for why that moved. There's none of this, I'll edit that out. You can't do that. You can't have missing mileages. It's all got to be accounted for. And I'm hoping that the United States doesn't go down that road, because right now there's a shortage of trucks. There's always been a shortage of truck drivers, but there's a shortage of trucks. You can't buy a truck. A used truck's 20 grand overpriced right now, in my opinion. So there's a shortage of vehicles. There's a shortage of transport. The rates are high. So why on earth would you want to bring something in to restrict the amount that the trucks that are existingly there can do? Existingly there? Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the right word, maybe not. It's late at night here. But I just don't want to go back to this logbook where we can't have the brains to do something for ourselves. I'd just like to know what your thoughts are on this. I'm hoping that the 11th hour again, they turn around and say, yeah, you guys are smart enough to do that. Carry on, keep filling the shelves, There is a shortage of trucks. There's a bigger shortage of trucks now than there was during the worldwide crisis that was going on there, because everybody's wanting everything now that things are opening up, and there's not enough trucks to go around. That's why the rates are high, the fuel's high, everything's high. So let's not go back to the way and have it be regulated. Let's stride forward, do the right thing, take the handcuffs off the drivers, let us run, let us fill the shelves, let us continue to be the heroes of the road. Feeding the country, bringing all that toilet paper. See, since they took the logbook exemption off, everybody's had a clean butt. Yeah, there you go. Now if they keep them off, and they take the flatbed guys off, everybody might have enough wood to do their home improvements. Who knows? But we're 1 week away from finning out. Finning out. It'll be good to fin out sooner rather than later. The suspense is killing me. Are we going to still be able to go to Atlanta and back in a week? Or is it going to take us 8 or 9 days? And then a day off, and a day and a half off when we get back? Who knows? But I've enjoyed it. It's been great. We've loved every minute of it. We've made the most of it, and we've enjoyed the safety aspect that we can bring to it by knowing when we're tired and not having to run when some lawyer, lawmaker, legislator comes up with the idea of thinking, big Tommy here, he'll be fine. He can run for a bit longer. He can run till 4 in the morning. No problem. And then he can sleep till 2 the next afternoon. Who wants to do that? Honestly. No me. So, give me your comments. I'd love to know what the thoughts are on this. Thanks for watching the video. Sorry if it's rambled a bit, but hey, I want to still run my truck and use my own discretion. So, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thanks.